Hey everybody, welcome to Saturday Hockey Talk. I'm your host Slags. Welcome to the channel. Let's see, tonight there's not a lot of Habs news really right now, but we're going to talk about a few things tonight. Not all just Habs news or Habs stuff. We're going to talk about competition in camp. Um, there's a bunch of battles that are going to happen in camp this year. So we're going to talk about that a bit. It's also going to be the topic for the Hab Normals podcast that we're recording tomorrow. What else do I have? Not there. Actually, we'll talk about the roster, not the roster, the invitee list for Team Canada for the upcoming Olympics is out, and we can talk about that. And also, I have a bunch of these kind of things here. I'm going to show you this one. I think that's the hard one. Nope, that's not it. Well, it doesn't matter. So it's whose stat is it anyway? Got the stats, position, any trophies, teams they played on. Try to guess who the player is. We'll do that. I believe 9 of them here. Yeah, and we'll just talk about all that stuff. Let's see who's here. Let's see, Mr. Guru. Hey, Guru, how's it going, man? Yeah, all's good with me. Things could be better, of course, but I mean, things are okay. As long as I keep my nose out of the goings on in the crack house down south of us, I'm a lot mentally healthier. So hopefully, I'll be able to do that. Not an easy task. Larry, the cable guy, how's it going, Larry? Good to see you out there. Larry says he's getting ready to cover another high school sports season, and our paper is talking about me covering a few Muskegon Lumberjacks hockey games. Nice. That's nice. Lumberjacks are what? AHL, right? The paper went as far as to ask me to get a pass. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. By the way, people out there don't know, Larry is a reporter. I'm not sure what the name of the paper is, Larry, off the top of my head. But Larry is a sports reporter. Larry says, I'm disappointed that Hudson wasn't invited for Team USA. I do have that, and we're going to talk about that. I'm disappointed, but you know what? It may be really good motivation for him to prove them wrong and to have he already had a fantastic season last year, but build on that and be even better. Hey there, BL. How's it going, man? All right. So, we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I'll give you a list of where I think the competition in camp is mainly going to be, and then guys can ask me questions, anything you want to talk about there. And if there's anything I didn't mention, go ahead and ask me. So I think the competitions in camp going to be Jack and Struble. They're definitely competing for that 6th spot and for a regular spot on the PK. I think you got Bolduc versus Doc. Bolduc versus Line for a winger spot. He can go either way. So I think in camp he's competing for both jobs. Kapanen versus Beck to make the team out of camp. Kakinen versus Dobish for the backup. I do think Dobish will get the backup job, but I think that's competition. And I think it's really good for that to happen in camp, to have competition for the backup spot. Slav versus Demidov for that first line wing spot. Kapanen versus Veleno for a 3rd or 4th wing. And then you got Evans versus Kapanen and Veleno for a 3rd, for Evans to compete for that 3rd C. That's how I see it. I'm sure there's other probably thoughts out there about that, and we can talk about any of those. Whatever I said before. I should remove this comment. Larry says, I'm with Shoreline Media, Oceanus Herald Journal, and White Lake Beacon on the west side of Michigan. Nice. I work out of Hart between Muskegon and Ludington. Nice. So you work for two different papers then. I guess, from the sound of it. Hey there, Joe. How's it going, Joe? Good to see you out there. Renegade Man says, I feel Beck could be a trade piece moving forward. I wouldn't disagree with that. I just think Kapanen has an edge, in my opinion. I agree with that too. I think Kapanen has the edge, which is why if you saw my points projection video, I had Kapanen in there. I didn't have Beck. Only because not that I think Beck's definitely getting traded. I just think Beck will be spending probably the year in Laval. I think Kapanen, it's kind of his spot to lose, like in that he has the upper hand going in, I think. So we'll see how that works out. Should be able to do a few wreaths. I thought you were. I saw a reefer at Puffer. That's where my head went. Do a few wreaths Puffer high school hockey games. Okay, that's cool. Is high school hockey popular at all there? Don't forget the competition between Perry Turnbull and Alfie Turcotte. I've not figured out your system yet, BL. So I'm not sure who you mean. If I didn't already cover it, yeah, give me real names on that. Well, not that those aren't real names, but current names. No proper sleep since last night. You are that's true. You are Sunday today. Yeah, you're Joe's in Australia. If you don't know that already, sorry to hear that you didn't get good sleep. I never sleep properly, so I'm used to that. Renegade Man says, I think Reinbacher will make the team, but as an extra, and will go back before the 10th game. Yeah, I imagine that's a possibility. I don't really see it that way because I don't see any value of keeping Reinbacher here, even if it's just for 9 games, for him to be an extra. There's no value in it, and I don't think that they'll do that. If he plays well enough that they say, well, let's give him a look for 9 games and then send him back, I don't disagree with that because he's playing. I don't see any value in these young guys sitting in the press box. Like for forwards, if Kapanen makes the team or Beck, they're not going to sit in the press box. You've got Sammy Blais for that. So there's no value in these young guys. If they're not going to play here and get regular minutes, then send them back to Laval to play regular minutes, my opinion. Hey, David, how's it going, David? Good to see you out there, bud. Lucas, everybody, congratulations to Lucas. He's on his honeymoon. Lucas got married on Saturday. How's it going out there? And he's in the Dominican. How's it going out there, man? Trying not to drink too much. Had some rough nights already. Well, it's your honeymoon. You got party, man. You've had trouble sleeping since Thursday night. Oh, that sucks. I've been through that many times, so I know how much that sucks, actually. I kind of said that to him when he was in the members only live stream. And I said that, like, is that the right season to be down there? Yeah. But he's on his honeymoon, so. So you're saying high school hockey very popular down there, eh? In Michigan and places like Flint, Saginaw, and definitely in the Detroit area. Well, okay, I'm not surprised there because, I mean, they have, a long hockey history with the Red Wings and everything. So, but I mean, it's not like high school football is in general through the U.S. David says, doing pretty good, buddy. Congratulations, Lucas. CBL understands now. Because, you're on your honeymoon. You're not spending too much time outside. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Say no more, say no more. I have some concerns about Beck. He's been in the organization for a while, and I would think his progress, he'd progress a little more. But then again, there are some players ahead of him now. Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about Beck. I think probably Beck would have been here if not for some of the quality of the other, prospects here probably. I do think Kapanen edged him out a little bit last year, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see what camp looks like because camp will be the decider, really. Construction. What do you mean construction? Also, you're not doing construction down there. You mean it's construction holidays? That's true. Yeah, Lucas is in that industry, so yeah, this is when you get time off. Thank you, David. Renegade Man, Koivu Jr., or I mean, Ados Koivu, could be something special in the future. He's a wild card, in my opinion. I don't disagree. I don't really disagree with that at all. I don't know if I loaded this. Hang on, let me check something. Did I load it? I didn't. I have a list of I think it's a top 10 is the leading point getters for the Habs all time. Koivu is number 10. So Koivu's number 10. So I don't know if it means anything, but I mean, I wouldn't have thought that. And that means, he is a wild card, because if he's anything like his dad, I wouldn't write him off. That's all I could say. Joe says congrats also. What do I think the Habs will do to get their second line center? Two things. I don't think they're going to find that guy this year. So either they're going to make an off-season move, maybe an in-season move if something happens. That could happen. Who knows during the season? But I think it's either an off-season move that they find the guy, they make a deal, or we're looking at Michael Hage next season, I think. Because Hage probably will be with the organization as a professional when his college season is done. And we might be looking at them breaking Hage into the lineup. And maybe Bolduc will be good enough to be there for a couple of years, fill in the gap till Hage is ready. Or they're going to make a move in the offseason. I don't really think they'll find the right guy, like their guy, not for the rest of the offseason. And I kind of don't think it's going to be an in-season thing. But you never know. BL says Joshua Roy, his Habs days behind him. Could be. I mean, listen, right now with the other guys that are now ahead of him, and if you look at their depth chart, because I think I have it somewhere. He's fallen down on the depth chart, and he's going to be depth in case of injury. He could, he's still young. He could still, that could change for him, right? Who knows, or moved in a deal or something like that. Any progress on Florian? Nothing in particular. I mean, training camp's going to be a big camp for Florian, I would think. Has potential to win a job, I would think. I don't think he will, though. I think it's another year for him, probably, but it's got potential. Renegade Man says, I'm assuming Doc will be a bit of a stopgap for the second-line center until Hage comes in, which is 2 years away. I mean, that could be. I'm not saying no. Training camp will tell. We'll find out what we've got in Zachary Bolduc. We'll find out if maybe Zach Bolduc being here and competing for that job will push Doc a little bit more to get him unlocked, and we'll see a different Doc. But I think essentially that's what the plan is right now, is that Doc is the stopgap until Hage. Or if they find somebody that's not Hage. What do I think of the Habs getting Veleno? Yeah, I have no problem with that. It's speaking of stopgaps, that's kind of what it is, right? An experienced guy that allows Beck and Kapanen to develop further. I have no problem with it, especially the contract and everything. If it doesn't work out, you waive him, and either he's picked up or you send him to Laval, and there's no cost. Because with his contract, if you send him to Laval, you'll get all that back. And if you waive him, someone takes him, then you don't have to pay him. So no risk there. And you know what? He's a Montreal kid. His motivation is super high. As a bottom six guy, he might have a really good season and surprise some of us, I think. Johnny Golden, how's it going there, Johnny? Good to see you out there, man. I'm doing okay. Hope you are doing as well. It made me think of, for some reason, I'm gonna go full screen here. So you saw the link that was underneath me. So this is that shirt I've been telling you about. It's the Flyer Are Gonna Flyer Up podcast shirt. Now the reason I got this one, and it's from our other channel, right? Is because I direct and I co-produce that podcast, and I thought I wanted something different that wasn't Talking Habs, so I can wear over there, blah blah blah. But I mean, it's really nice, and it has passed the test of being washed. I've already washed it twice. You couldn't really tell. I'm not. I mean, couldn't really. You can't tell. So the quality is there. I'm really happy with it. It's comfortable. It's yeah, they're comfortable. Anyway, available underneath me. We've got the mugs. That's Talking Habs, and that's a podcast mug for Hab Normals, and the hat. My Hab Normals podcast hat. Everything's available. Link is in the description. And if you look under the window, there should be a shelf where they're actually pictures are there. And you can go from there if you're interested. Hats and mugs made in Canada and delivered in Canada. The t-shirt is made in the US. I can't help that, but I am probably moving from here to a different setup, which is not American in any way. And I have to set it all up, and I'm not gonna open it up till it's all ready. But right now, I tell you what, they're still good and prices are good and everything. Anyway, link is in the description. Check it out. That's all the selling I'm going to do today. No, hit the wrong thing there. There you go. And let's get back to you guys. Hey, David, we'll talk to you later, man. Good to see you out there. Lucas says also didn't the sniper we got from St. Louis. That's Bolduc. I don't know that. I'm not going to call him a sniper, but he's got really big potential. That is Zachary Bolduc, and I mean he had 19 goals in his first full season last season. I'm predicting he's going to get 25, maybe more, depending on where he plays and all that. But I don't think calling him a sniper is accurate. He hasn't proven that yet. He may be, but it hasn't happened yet. Renegade Man said Bolduc had a great second half of his rookie season. I think MSL will give him those minutes and let him flourish. I whether he will earn it or not, I agree with you. He'll get that opportunity, which is why, I mean, he's going to be competing for that with Doc in camp. And as I said earlier, right, it's not bad for Doc either. It'll push Doc to be better. And if Doc loses out, well, he'll be on the wing. I don't think that's bad. Or they'll push him back to the third line center. And, who knows how that'll turn out. Bolduc, yeah, that's it. Why do the Mason McTavish rumors keep coming, even from Anaheim sources? Because we haven't filled the second line center role. I don't. What are they gonna send there? And you can't offer sheet him because Anaheim has a ton of money, so that's out. No, I don't. I think they'll work it out with McTavish. I don't think he's really going anywhere. Especially if, as you hear, Anaheim wants to make that push to get out of the basement and make a run at the playoffs and be that team. And really, and you're trading Mason McTavish to do that. I don't know. I don't think he's coming to Montreal. I don't think so. Could it still happen? I mean, of course, but I don't think so. Any chance Q Ball finds someone dumb enough to take line A? Q Ball, by the way, is obviously Kent Hughes. BL is not big on having Hughes here. It's not. I don't think it's about dumb enough. Yeah, listen, it's really no risk to have him one more season. If they play him in the right spot and all that, I think it's fine. I mean, line A is still going to get you 30 goals, probably on a power play. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think he's going anywhere, to be honest. If he has a good season, I think they might even re-sign him. If not, then they move him at the deadline or let him walk. And even that, right? If they're in the playoffs, I mean, you're probably not moving Line. So he's probably either going to get re-signed or he's walking after the season. But do I think they're going to move him before? I mean, I don't. If Doc winds up playing second line center and gets hurt again, what then? It's the last year of his contract. They don't re-sign him after that. You got to think, if Doc gets hurt again, why are they going to re-sign him? And he's on the final year of the deal. So they'll either move him at the deadline if they can, or he'll walk and he'll sign somewhere else. Because if Doc gets hurt again like that, I mean, then this kid is unfortunately injury prone. At that point, how could you deny it, right? So we'll see. We'll see. I hope it doesn't happen. I like the kid. I think he's got great potential, but it's his season to have to prove it now. Where was I? Lucas says, I don't think we are giving up on Line A yet. He is a big part of us making the playoffs. Definitely. I mean, he was. There's no doubt. The cracks in his game obviously showed, or they were always there and I never knew about them, but still. He's a big part of it. Oh, I read that. Just try to let him figure out his game more. Kind of what St. Louis did that first season of Caulfield. Yeah. No, I don't really disagree with that. I know BL will come back and say, well, his teammates everywhere he's played, this is what they said about him. That may be true and all that with Line, but he's in a different situation here now. Let's see what Marty can do with him. And potentially the right coach and the right teammates can unlock a guy like that for those little things that he can improve on them. I don't think he's going to totally change his game and all of a sudden be this guy that's going to come out and hit everything he sees and whatever. But there's some parts of his game that he needs to improve on. Don't worry about putting pucks in the net so much and develop the rest of your game. Yeah, but I mean, his game is that shot and on the power play. So he's got to worry about it to some extent, but he definitely has to work on the rest of his game. That's what good coaching is about. Let's see what Marty can do with him. Would I keep the 2014-13 kid line, or would you insert 91 and take 13 or 20 out? Why? 91 is Kapanen. Are you sure that's the guy you mean? I would not put Kapanen on line one. Where I would maybe make an adjustment, I've heard two things. One, I don't think a lot of people might like. The other, yeah, Demidov could not at the beginning of the season, but by mid-season, Demidov could unseat Slav there. I think it's possible. I think when the Habs are looking for that goal, they need a goal. I can see Demidov being on that first line for that, for a little bit. I don't see but Kapanen, no. As far as Caulfield, I've heard, okay, take Caulfield out, put him on the second line, put Line up there, and let's see what Nick Suzuki can do with him to get him on track a little bit and to make up for his defensive issues. So I've heard that from good people that I like. So that's why I'm repeating it. But I don't see Kapanen there. So I think you mean 93 and not 91. Jordan Harris is not playing for Columbus because he was traded to Boston. Right? You know that, right? That's why he's not playing for Columbus. Apparently, in Columbus, Harris had got himself worked up into playing well, from what I had heard, and yeah, but it was considering we gave up only Harris, and we got a fourth or a third round pick along with the Line. It's not a bad trade, and Montreal's got the money, and it's no risk. He needs to use his body more. When they go against the boards for board battles, he stands away and with the stick. Guy is 6'5". Lean on guys at least. Just lean on them. You don't have to be punching and then lean on guys against the boards. Do something. Use your body. That he has to do. No, I don't think the injury made him nervous. I don't think that's his game. It's just not his game. But he's going to need, I think it needs to become part of his game a little bit. Other than when he was on the power play, he floats around and looks uninterested. Drives me crazy. I'm not going to argue that. Last year when you pointed it out a few times, and I finally, I caught on. And once you see that and you realize that this is what he's doing, it's hard to unsee, and he has to be more involved. And that being a little bit physical, playing a little bit physical, kind of gets you involved a little more. So I don't know what they're going to work with him on, or how they'll get him to buy in. I don't know. I really don't know. No, Demidov is 93. Am I wrong? He's number 93, Demidov. Kapanen is 91. Hey there, Phil. How's it going, man? Good to see you out there, buddy. Where was I now? Sound like Letterkenny. Here. I see them slipping Demidov on the line when needing the goal, but think you need Slav on that line for his size. I don't disagree. But I mean, listen, if every time they put him up there to score a goal, they need a goal, and that happens like majority of the time, I could see them saying, hey, let's see what it's like as a full-time line and giving it a shot. And then, a second line with Doc, with Doc, Slav, and Bolduc doesn't sound that bad. It really doesn't sound that bad. This I agree with Lucas. I really don't see it, but I got that with from Brian Wild. He's a local guy here. I really like Brian Wild. It doesn't mean he's always got the best ideas. I don't agree with him on that, but he kind of thinks that might be something they do. But I can't see them splitting Nick and Cole right now. And besides, if I'm correct, that number one line of ours was the number one offensive line last year in the league, I believe. Why would you split that up? Line A is perfect. He will grow with the team. It's fine. You can't find these kinds of players ever. Well, I wouldn't say he's perfect, but I do believe he can grow with the team. I don't disagree with you there. The right kind of coaching, the right teammates, you could change a guy. And so I agree with you there. But is he perfect? He's far from it, but he can be made better without a doubt. Larry says, the one thing I'm worried about Demidov is the idea that he's being anointed the next big thing when he's only been here a while and is still a bit unproven. Unschmoven to me. Have you seen this kid? Have you seen him stick handle? Have you seen the moves on him? I know he's the real deal, and he's ready to rock and roll. I've got a hot take coming. I mean, in my points prediction, I think I gave him 73. I think I might go a little higher than that in a hot take that I'm working on a hot take video. I think Demidov is the real deal. And I don't think it's going to take him too long to get up to speed either. He's already had a couple of games, had some playoff experience. I think with camp, you get once the puck's dropped on the first game, I think this kid's pretty much ready to rock and roll and to show you what he's got. And I think what he's got is some serious fucking skill. I think as long as he can do those moves in the NHL in a game, and that's a big if, that's an if, I get that. But if he can, he's going to be amazing. He's really going to be amazing. And I think he's going to prove to everybody pretty quickly why Montreal said no to Michkov, and we're going to take our chances on that kid. In the playoffs, with Liney we're talking about in the physical, yeah. I mean, Washington, you can see some of the moves Montreal's made since then, right? To shore up. Ooh, I just whistled right through my teeth. To shore up the that problem, right? They got tougher, they got a little bit bigger, and I think this is what they saw what they needed to do. There's no doubt. Oh, that makes me think of something. Hang on. So speaking of Washington, so this is a picture of my youngest. And my youngest looks a bit like Tom Wilson. No? Or is it just me that thinks that? That's him at the gym with his girlfriend. But he looks a bit like Tom Wilson with that beard. So that's my youngest, James. All right, where was I? I'm going to get back to... there we are. Demidov, also known as Vanya. And I don't know why, but from Ivan, that's got to be a nickname for Vanya. That's the only I can think of. But yeah, that's what they call him. Will have to earn his ice time, his power play time, etc. Did you hear me at all say he won't have to earn his ice time? I did not say that. What I did say, not directly, but what I did say was he will earn that time. Hang on, I got a cough. Which made me think, I'm just going to go off camera for a few minutes. My one time for this show that I'm doing that. But I'm right here, ain't going anywhere. All right, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what would make you think that he's not going to earn that ice time. I think he's going to earn it big time. Even if you go with what say, because I think you'll get more, but say he hits 65 points, and it's not bad. It's going to earn his ice time, don't you think? I think 65 points is low for him, personally. BL, I knew BL would come back on this one, so he says to Phil, perfect. Have you heard what his former teammates have said about him? Perfect? Wow. Was that good, BL? Did I get the tone and everything that you had in your head when you wrote that? I did mention this, right? That, but even so, you get him in the right situation with the right coach, with the right teammates and line mates, and I believe you can make a player play a little different, improve his game. I'm not saying it's going to be off the charts, but I'm just asking for a little bit less floating, a little bit more physical against the boards. That's all. I'm asking for that. Let's see. And believe me, if he doesn't do it and he's still, then why they might not re-sign him. Easy. Don't re-sign him. And it didn't really cost you anything. You get 2 years of the guy. He helps you make the playoffs in the first season. And it cost you Jordan Harris. That's it. No loss. If he walks, no problem. It was still a good trade in my mind. Phil says the former. He is improving. We all do. Hopefully, we live, we learn. I mean, that's basic. I'm agreeing with that. Will he do it or not? I don't know. His former teammates say no, but we'll see. This is a new situation for him. He's in a team that really wants him. He's got a great coach. He's got great line mates and teammates. I think the potential is there. Larry says, I say, before people anoint him to be a great player, give him a chance to settle in, get acclimated to his new surroundings, and ease up on the pressure and let him find his game. I don't disagree with that, but remember, every player is different. And I don't think anything that I've heard from this kid about this kid says, yeah, I need to sort of be eased in and babied a little bit before. Nothing about him says that to me. Nothing about him says that to me. Everything about this kid says, I'm fucking ready and I'm going to be a great player. And I'm going to show you. And that's what everything speaks to me. This kid speaks that way to me. Uh, 27, I guess, this season. He's still young. Yeah. I never said he was old. He has a cannon and we'll pay him for it. But you know what? A one-trick pony, there's no room in the top 6 for a one-trick pony. There's just not. If he's strictly going to be that and that's it, well, guess what? Teams can easily figure that out. And we saw a little bit of it as the season went on. So being that one-trick pony, you got to get him the puck, and he's going to shoot from the same spot, and that's it. No, teams are going to figure that out real quick and nullify that. So no, he's got to be able to work around that or to get better so they don't figure him out or they don't know what to expect. Have different aspects of your game. You can't just be a one-trick pony. If you want to be a truly great player, you can't be a one-trick pony. The power play one will be a killer. I think both units are going to be pretty good. Slav, Suzuki, Caulfield, Hudson, and Demidov. And then the second unit obviously might be a little less, but it's going to be good. You're going to have Line A, Bolduc, Dobson. I can't even think who else, but it's still going to be a good unit. You'll see. Our power play is going to be a lot better. I think it's going to be in the top. I don't know how far into the top 10, but top 10 power play for sure. It looks like. What do I see the deep pairings to start the season? Line A and Dobson together? Nope. I would not be putting Line A on defense, but I know you mean Lane. I don't see Lane. No, I don't see Hudson and Dobson being together. Trying to remember what I had in my video. I think we're going to see Matheson, Dobson, Hudson, Gooley, and Jacky or Struble with Carrier to start the season. From there, it could change up after a bit, but I think that's my guess for what is going to come out of camp. But for me, putting Dobson and Hudson together, you're taking your two best offensive defensemen and you're putting them together. Now, you can say, well, Matheson's an offensive defenseman, and yes, he is, but it's not the same. And I don't think Matheson's a third pairing guy. So one of these three guys or two of these three guys are going to have to play together. And that's how I see it. There's still fans who think they should draft both Michkov, should have drafted. Yeah, of course. No, because you have the role that Michkov would filled by Cole Caulfield, right? They're shooters, goal scorers, power play guys. That's what Michkov is. He wasn't great on 5-on-5. He wasn't great anywhere else, really. Every game I saw, he didn't impress me. Am I biased? Maybe a little bit, but he didn't impress me at all last season in what I saw him in those games. So you didn't need that guy. And to get a guy like Reinbacher, and if you don't like Reinbacher, that's fine. But to get that type of defenseman, you mostly have to draft him. Right? He's a shut. He kills plays. That's what he does. That's what he's doing in Laval. That's who he is. That guy is more valuable going forward. And they had their eye on Demidov. How they knew they might get him, I don't think they knew they would get him, but they hoped they would, and they thought they had a really good chance to. And they played that card, and they got it. And I think it was the right move. Michkov, if we didn't have Caulfield here, I think they might have gone for Michkov. But they made the right move saying, let's see if we can get Demidov. That's the kid. And I do believe Demidov will, in the long run, when their careers are over, you're going to say Demidov is better than Michkov. How much, I'm not saying. I don't know. But I still think he's going to be a better player, better numbers overall. And I'm glad that we have him. PL says, I don't know how you can say that. They didn't even know they were getting Demidov. Except I'm going by what I've heard Kent Hughes say. You could say he's full of shit. That's fine. Their decision was, we're going to go for that kid. We're not taking Michkov. We're going for Reinbach. We're going to try to get that kid. That kid was Demidov. And that's from Hughes. I'm not making this up. So if you don't like it, contact Hughes and say, hey, you're lying about it. How did you know? I don't know. What's the latest on Arbor? Do you think he will make the team again? Yeah. I just said Arbor. At worst, at the very least, Arbor is going to be your seventh defenseman. At the very least. But he's in a battle with Struble to be the sixth defenseman on the third pair and to be the penalty kill guy. That's the battle he's in. If he loses that, I don't think they're going to move him. I don't think that's it for Arbor. He's making the team, and he's going to be, he's still going to get into his share of games. Phil, but this isn't Suzuki here. Demidov is, as much as Suzuki I think is great, Demidov's a totally different character, totally different player, and I don't compare that. Because then you're saying then Demidov might start on the fourth line as a winger. That's not going to happen. And personally, I think starting the way Nick Suzuki started served him well enough. I don't think that was a problem. He'll earn that ice time the same way he will earn the respect of the team, of the rest of the team and fans. He's already got it, I think. So, did Demidov go back to Russia for the offseason? Hope he doesn't have trouble getting back. I don't think he did go back. As far as I know, he stayed here. He is learning French and bettering his English and getting used to the city and being prepared for. As a matter of fact, I know he's here because he's playing in that 3-on-3 league that's here. He's playing in that, so he's here. I'm sure he thought the same thing. Don't go back because I don't know if I can get back out of there. Hey, Jason, how's it going, man? Line A needs to learn to go to the net a little bit. So predictably playing on the outside, the guy is huge. Use your size, 100%. And you have the right word in there, right? Predictable. And that's what he's becoming, right? It's predictable. Just he wants to get the shot from the left face-off circle, and that's all. So he's got to change that up. How is the Habs goaltending situation shaping up after Monty and Dobish? Who do you think will step forward and improve the most? I'm almost shocked. I'm assuming you forgot about Fowler, Larry. I have to assume you forgot about the kid. Jacob Fowler, the future of the Montreal net, who's out there as well. Will he be here in Montreal this year? No. I don't believe. He may get a game or two near the end if they want to see where he's at, but I don't think he's going to play much here this year. But Jacob Fowler, man, how could you? You must have forgot about Fowler. Would Cole be enough to get Sid? I'm not even contemplating that. And believe me, they're not even contemplating that. Believe me, they're not. You're there. Thank you, Lucas, because he says, Phil, why the hell would they do that? Sid is a year away from retirement, while Cole is like 24. He's probably 2 years away, but exactly. You're not trading those kind of guys to get a Sidney Crosby, man. You're not. Because that would be insanity. Like if he would do that, Hughes, I would call the Douglas and say you got to get that guy and put a straitjacket on him and put him in a padded room. Larry says he wouldn't take a chance on Crosby at this point. I would, but I'm not trading Caulfield to do it. But he's 30, what, 37? Cole Caulfield has another good 10 solid, if not more, years of maybe putting up 50 goals a season. And you're going to sell that for 2 years of Sidney Crosby? Man, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. He's 2 points ahead of Suzuki, and he has toy soldiers as support. He's 37. And now you said it. So are you screaming at yourself? Because you should scream at yourself. Larry, I'm very much aware of Crosby. He's nearing the end of his career and has a history of not showing up when it's needed the most. Crosby? Sorry, what? Crosby doesn't show up when he's needed the most. Sidney Crosby, the captain in Pittsburgh, from the guy from Cole Harbor, Nova Scotia. That Crosby doesn't show up when he's needed the most. Said no one ever. I'm sorry to say, said no one ever. Yeah, but then when he's retired and Cole Caulfield is now killing you for the next 10 years on another team, that is not a good look, my friend. That is not a good look. And I want Crosby to come here, but not for that. Jason, that's a good question. I mean, it's a good question. I don't know if that's true or not. But I do remember when they showed part of the interview they had with him, or it was when he was questioned, and he said to the reporter that he's not going to say where he wants to go. It's not up to him, and he doesn't want to make teams. He didn't say where he wanted to go. He just when he was being interviewed by Montreal, they asked him, would we be stupid to not draft you? And he said, yes, you would be. So, But he never said that to anywhere. He was good about that. He's a good kid. What do you think the Habs are willing to give up for Crosby at this point of his career? Personally, I think nothing. Personally, I don't think they're willing to do anything right now. Now, if you will go back 2 months ago, before they made some of the moves they made, maybe they were, but they made some moves and moved guys. I don't know what they're still willing to give up because it might be too much. It's 10. I mean, Cole's 24. You got to figure 10 more years he's got here. Imagine what Cole can do for 6 more. I'm going to say 10. Well, of course, of course, it doesn't even compare. Now, if Cole Caulfield was 30, it'd be a different story, but he's not. He's 24. Other than Celebrini, who was the slam dunk number one? How did Hughes know that Levshinov, wasn't it? Would go to Chicago, Seneca to the Ducks, and Lindstrom to Columbus. He didn't know. I never said he knew. What did I say they said to themselves? We're going to take a chance on that kid, on getting that kid. And then say, oh, we're going to get that kid. We know. They didn't know. But being top 5, they figured they had a shot. That's what I'm going to say. And that's what Hughes said, essentially. So like I said, I'm not making this up. I'm not even inferring from. This is what he said. Now, which interview was it? Go back to that interview. It was either the one after the draft or the one to close out the season. I'm not sure which one, but I heard him ask that, and I heard his response. Still need more experience? What, on the team? The Habs gambled and paid off by getting their guy. Plus, the Habs got their Michkov in Caulfield. Yes, Michkov is slightly better than Caulfield when it comes to skill, but they're similar players. Right, and you got that guy, and, he's got chemistry with Nick Suzuki already. You know all this. You're not getting rid of him. So why are you picking up another guy like that to force Caulfield out, maybe? They took their chance, and it paid off, and they got their guy. Okay, Larry, I just said, if you know about Fowler, I'm surprised you were asking the question you were asking. That's all. Apparently, he did not do this, Lucas. I saw him interviewed, or I saw him asked a few questions, and that was one of the questions. And he said he doesn't want to say what team he wants. They asked him, what team do you want to go to? I don't want to say because I don't want to influence what happens. I heard that from him. We can wait another year and sign Sid when he's a free agent if he really wants to come here. 2 years. He's just starting a 2-year contract that he signed with Pittsburgh. Listen, let's face it. Crosby's not coming here. That's all. He's not coming here. No, he signed a 2-year deal, Bill. And Crosby's 38 in 5 days. So I'm not trading for a 38-year-old Mario Lemieux, a 38-year-old Gretzky, a 38-year-old Bobby Orr, a 38-year-old Guy Lafleur. I'm not trading for those guys and giving up a Caulfield to get a guy like that at that age. Oh, yeah. Well, listen, he was just being. I don't know if it's snarky. He was just being sarcastic or something. Let's see. I'll be back on camera in a couple minutes, and then we'll end it after that. Exactly. Not giving up the young guns for a short-term run. Now, some of the prospects we mentioned and the draft picks, when that we had them before the draft, that's a totally different story. I'd do that, but I'm not giving up an established player of Cole Caulfield's stature or anybody like that. No. Crosby has already said he's not interested in being traded. It depends where you read, though. I don't know. Did he say that? Did he not? Like, who the hell knows? It doesn't matter because he's not coming here. Yeah, I think the 2-year extension, that's what it was, is enough. I think he'll finish his career there. There were moments he vanished, Crosby, but you can say that about anybody. What player can you not say that about? There's moments there, kind of, he wasn't there. Everybody has that. There, he's only human. My opinion. Again, Phil, you're just not thinking of the future. You're just not thinking of the future. But I'm glad that the Habs are. No, a 38-year-old Jagger would not be amazing on an 8-year-old deal because even at 38, his production was dropping. Was it not? And I'm sorry, when Jagger was 38, there's no way you could predict, oh, he'll be around another 8-10 years. There's no way you could predict that. And I'll take Cole Caulfield's numbers over a 38-year-old player. Although I'm not saying Crosby's going to have bad numbers. Oh, don't worry, Lucas. You guys can give me snarky comments back. I don't mind. I'm used to it with Phil anyway. We do that to each other. It's a back and forth thing. It's not a problem. Yeah, I gotta say I agree with you on that, Bill. And listen, I'm not saying that he could take a shift off here and there. Everybody does, but to say he just was invisible, no. I don't think there's a game he ever played that he was totally invisible. But like I said, every player can take a shift off here and there and not be at full. But man, I never heard that about Crosby. Okay, I'm not sure. I am not sure. But wait, as a mod, yeah, you don't have to do anything. Any thoughts on Hudson not being invited to the USA? Yeah, we never got. We just started talking about this stuff and then never got to most of what I had. Yeah, I think it's going to bite them in the ass. I really do. It doesn't make any sense. Listen, Canada invited Celebrini, right? Why wouldn't Hudson be there for the US? So, I mean, I have a feeling that, they'll have their team set, somebody will get hurt, and maybe but I mean, if he is not an invitee, I don't think he can even be added, right? So I'm not even sure. It's a mistake on their part, but probably good for Montreal. Probably good for Montreal because you got to think, going to motivate them to kind of, I'll show them. that they made a mistake. I hope that's what happens. All right, let me get my ass. My ass. I don't want to put my ass on camera. Let me get my face on camera. It's 9. We'll do another. We'll stick around for about 10 more minutes. I'm not going to go on to that. I think he came back into the NHL at 39, scored 54 points for Philly in 70. Who? Jagger, you're talking about? Well, then I wouldn't take a 38 or 39-year-old player that's getting 54 points over a kid that's going to get 70 or 80. I wouldn't do that. Well, so you're saying that you would have taken 8 years of those kind of numbers. Well, but he's Jagger. Well, let me see. Wayne Gretzky's still out there. He can walk. He can probably put skates on. Maybe take him now. He might be able to get you 10 points. But he's Gretzky, so, it's Gretzky. Let's trade Suzuki. It's Gretzky. Gretzky's the number 1 center. Well, we got to trade Suzuki then. I mean, to me, it sounds ridiculous like that. Oh, yeah, I definitely agree with that, Renegade man. But, you're talking probably not this season for Reinbacher might play a little bit. That could happen. I don't think for Hage or Fowler more than a game or two if we see them this season. The Americans are against small size, especially in D. Then why would they have Quinn Hughes? Same size. So you're telling me you would take Sidney Crosby for 2 seasons, of which we're not going to win the Stanley Cup, and give up Cole Caulfield, who, when we are ready to win the Stanley Cup, would be here scoring 50 goals a year, and you would trade that away just to have Sidney Crosby on the team? I love Sidney Crosby. I wouldn't do that for my life. And if the GM did that, I'd want him fired on the spot. Was Luke Hughes invited to the? I don't have the American list. I only know that they didn't invite Hudson, but I don't have the list. Whoops. Hughes won the Norris and is more established. That's why. But you said about a small player, and they're not into small D. I mean, he's the same size as Hughes. So that's a better way to put it. He's more established. But you said they don't like small D. You said, well, Crosby for mid-level prospects, I agree with. I guess I didn't catch that part. Oh, no, I should. I'm sorry. You did say that. I see it up there. Sorry about that. You know what? I just, when you text people or whatever, you put SMH. That SMH right now. Oh, yeah, because it's all just about making money. It's not about winning a Stanley Cup. It's about selling jerseys and making money, right? They're not interested. What do we need a Stanley Cup for when we can get that guy and sell more jerseys? Come on. Why couldn't Hudson win a Lady Byng? Sure, it's about making money to a certain extent, but it's not all about making money. I mean, if that's all you think it is, go down to the States because that's all they care about now. Who cares about anything else but America's making money from its own people? It's not just about money. It is a business. It's about winning a fucking cup. That's what it's about. And if it's not about winning a cup, then they should get out of the business because that's what it should be about. Oh, do we come to an end? We came to the end of the comments. Well, I mean, that's a signal. You didn't start a no, this is good. It's emotional. We're getting out. This is good. It's a good conversation. I didn't get to some of the stuff I had. That's okay though. Don't worry about it. None of that was important anyway. This is more fun. And nobody got mad at anybody. And if anybody's mad at somebody here, don't be mad. Blow it off. It's not nobody said anything bad. Right? We insulted each other. That's a little tiny bit. Nothing we can't handle. And we had a lot of fun. So no worries, no need to be sorry, Larry. All right. So I'll tell you what I'm up to. I'm working on 2 videos. I'm working on a hot take video, which should be a lot easier to complete. And I'm still working on the Jack Eye versus Struble video. We're going to be recording the pod tomorrow, so look for that on Monday. And what else? Yeah. And also don't forget, nice t-shirts, hats, mugs. Link down right below me. Click that and check it out. Let me know what you think. And that's it. I'm going to take off. I will be back next Saturday, as always, for Saturday Hockey Talk and a whole bunch of stuff next week as we are building towards the season that's coming. We're August already, so training camp opens next month, and we'll have preseason games near the end of the month. And we're not that far, about 6 weeks away from hockey again. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Totally appreciate it. And no, Matt is not here. He could have been, but he chose not to be. Yeah, just appreciate you guys being here. To all the members, everything. I forgot even to talk about memberships, but you can do that and hit join and go from there. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I can shut up now because I can't stop talking. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time. Till next time, stay safe out there. Peace out. Have a great rest of Saturday night. And that's it. Ciao, everybody.